빵, 빵. 김정일이 하고 이런 총 쏘는 거, 태권도 하는 거.
North Korea is known as one of the most secretive yet worst places to live in, whether you're considered an elite or not. Kim Jong-un, the current leader, continues to dominate political life in North Korea. But that also means that he's afraid that someone or his people will turn against him. That's where his bodyguards come in, protecting him. But when a former North Korean bodyguard just breaks the silence, what he reveals shocks everyone. He revealed all that he went through as a bodyguard of Kim Jong-un and his father, including his escape attempt, spending years in a labor camp, and what kind of person Kim Jong-un really is, up close and personal. Keep on watching to find out. Serving as a bodyguard to the Kim family. North Korea's ruling family is led by Kim Jong-un, but before that, it was Kim Jong-il, his father. The ruling family maintains control over every single person in the country, with labor camps located around the country for those who threaten the regime. They send people to those camps for the most ridiculous reasons, like making a phone call outside of North Korea or watching a movie or video smuggled in from South Korea. Kim Jong-un tries to rule the country with fear, and to do that, he has a team of bodyguards surrounding him and his family, ensuring no one ever thinks of attacking or usurping him. The Supreme Guard Command is the personal bodyguard force in charge of protecting the Kim family, North Korea's ruling family. The bodyguard team was organized by Kim Jong-il, the second ruler of North Korea, to deal with several coup attempts. He dismissed different officers and expanded his own private bodyguard unit with about 200 men. That's quite a lot for a personal bodyguard team. When the former North Korean bodyguard just broke the silence and shocked everyone, he revealed facts about the Supreme Guard Command, of which he was a part. He was first a personal bodyguard of Kim Jong-il, and then, when the former ruler died, his son took over and inherited his bodyguards. This escaped bodyguard is known as Lee Young-guk and was a bodyguard of the Kim ruling family until he managed to escape in 2000, which was his second attempt after the first one landed him in one of North Korea's infamous labor camps. According to what he revealed, the recruiters of the Supreme Guard Command get their new recruits from high schools. This is similar to how Kim Jong-un gets the girls for his secret pleasure harem. He makes them believe it's their honor to serve him. For the selection for the bodyguard team, the students are lined up for inspection, and they check their physical condition. The men must have no facial scars and a well-proportioned body. Aside from that, the guard will fully scrutinize the potential candidates and their family histories, ensuring they have been loyal. If family members have escaped or tried to escape before, they won't be considered for the role of the Kim family's bodyguard. Another thing they check is the songbun of the potential candidate's family, as this is a class system that North Korea divides its people into. Once someone has been chosen, they are given an ID number, and all their other records and history are erased. Contact with their family is also forbidden, so they are taken away from their loved ones for the rest of their lives. Once one family member is chosen as a bodyguard, no other person in that family is allowed to serve. Martial arts. Training and duties. Lee Young-guk revealed many secrets about how Kim Jong-un's personal bodyguard team is run, especially with the training that he had to go through to prove himself among the hundreds of others that were on his team. As a young member of the bodyguard team, he was enthusiastic and eager to stand out, like many others. The Supreme Guard Command apparently has a 300-page training book that details previous security incidents so that the new guards know what to look out for. The new recruits are taken to a special training camp for 6 months and then trained for up to 2 years. They are trained in different aspects, such as taekwondo classes, marksmanship, and 25-kilometer marches in full gear. Lee Young-guk served on the security detail of Kim Jong-il, the former North Korean supreme leader and the father of Kim Jong-un, from 1978 to 1988. He revealed that from the moment he became a bodyguard, there was something that he was taught over and over again. He said, "I was taught to believe I had to protect him with my life." Concerning his martial arts training, he revealed, "The most important thing was marksmanship. Every bodyguard was meant to score high marks in marksmanship if they wanted to protect their dictator well." He also revealed that whenever they were training, their boss, Kim Jong-il, liked to watch them and monitor them often. He revealed, "Kim loved watching us shoot and do martial arts. I could break 11 bricks. That is how I got this scar," pointing to his right palm. Most of their training was also quite inhumane, like smashing a slab of granite on your chest with a mallet, headbutting stacked tiles, and breaking light bulbs with one finger. This is very vital if you want to protect the elite members of the North Korean ruling family. Only those who could pass these tests are considered worthy enough to join the team of elite bodyguards. The North Korean government used to show propaganda footage of their bodyguards exercising and training in taekwondo and martial arts. These videos showed these strong men achieving these physical feats, and while this is visually impressive, it's hard to understand how breaking granite and light bulbs can help in a fight against an assassin. Lee revealed that he had also gone through similar training before he was considered fit to protect a leader. He said, "It's tough training, but why do it? It's to build up loyalty. A handgun won't win a war, and taekwondo serves nothing but the spirit, but it creates loyalty." He revealed, "They're trying to make them think that by training like this, they can beat the US military." There were also some traditional methods like target practice, weight, physical and tactical training, swimming, and using a boat. Lee was one of the trained killers who protected the North Korean dictator, experiencing brutal training to build loyalty. All the guards were expected to go through this training if they were going to protect the country's future leader. Brainwashing the bodyguards. Although the physical training of North Korean bodyguards is rigorous, focusing on endurance, combat skills, and discipline, this is just one aspect of their preparation. A far more insidious and powerful tool was used to mold them: ideological brainwashing. In North Korea, nothing happens without the thick fog of propaganda destroying reality. Most North Koreans only know what the government wants them to know, and propaganda is playing everywhere in the country, on television and radio stations, in restaurants, hotels, and more. The regime's propaganda machine is working tirelessly, presenting the Kim ruling family as divine gods. They have been elevated to a godlike status in the minds of the people, and this status is embedded into every aspect of their lives in this country. There are statues and portraits of Kim Jong-un and the two previous leaders in every public space, workplace, school, and home. In everyone's home, they must hang the Kim ruler portraits in a high position. Failure to display the leader's photograph in your home or show proper respect to the statues can lead to severe punishment, including years of hard labor in one of North Korea's notorious labor camps. In fact, a North Korean woman was once arrested for saving her children from a fire, but not taking out the photos of the Kim ruling family. According to Lee Young-guk, the former bodyguard to Kim Jong-il, who later defected, a large part of the bodyguard's training is devoted to brainwashing. This is probably why he was eager to let his story out, saying, "Please listen before it's too late." They are trained not only to protect the leader, but also to worship him as a godlike figure. Lee said he was taught to believe Kim Jong-il was more than just a man. He was a divine being whose safety and well-being were paramount. The bodyguards were conditioned to accept that their sole purpose in life was to serve and protect the dear leader. This wasn't a mere duty or job, but the reason they were born. The brainwashing was so complete that Lee and his fellow bodyguards genuinely believed that Kim Jong-il was infallible and divine, and they were more than willing to sacrifice their lives for him without hesitation. The brainwashing did not start once they became bodyguards. For every North Korean, the indoctrination began much earlier, often in school, where all they are taught about is the ruling family. From a young age, these men are taken from their high school, and then, aside from their training and exercise, they are exposed to constant streams of propaganda glorifying the Kim family and reinforcing their supposed divine right to rule. By the time they start their job as bodyguards, they have already been steeped in this ideology for years, making it easier for the state to turn them into fiercely loyal regime protectors. Early brainwashing ensures that the bodyguards have unwavering and absolute loyalty. They don't question their orders or the righteousness of their mission, even if the mission looks wrong. According to Lee, we were young and enthusiastic back then. Their enthusiasm was rooted in the belief that protecting Kim Jong-il was not just their duty, but their sacred responsibility. Ideological conditioning serves multiple purposes. For one, it guarantees that the bodyguards will never hesitate to risk their lives for the supreme leader, seeing it as an honor rather than a sacrifice. The propaganda makes them believe that they are part of something larger than themselves, servants of a divine cause of protecting the god who was Kim Jong-il and now Kim Jong-un. By brainwashing the bodyguards, they are isolated from reality. They are shielded from any information that might contradict the official narrative of the state. The constant reinforcement of the Kim family as a deity prevents the bodyguards from questioning their ruler. The combination of physical training and ideological brainwashing creates an elite force of bodyguards who are not only capable fighters, but also fanatically loyal to the leader. Their loyalty is not based on rationality or logic, but on the belief that Kim Jong-il is a god and that their lives are meaningful only in the context of protecting him. For these bodyguards, disloyalty is not just a betrayal of the state, it is a betrayal of their very purpose for existence. Challenges of bodyguard life. Being a bodyguard for a North Korean leader, especially someone as powerful and volatile as Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un, is not only about physical prowess. You can imagine that protecting the most dangerous man in a secretive hermit country rife with poverty, famine, and a brainwashed yet increasingly disapproving population is pretty dangerous. According to Lee Young-guk, his life was fraught with constant danger, immense pressure, and an environment steeped in paranoia. The high-stakes nature of the job means that the bodyguards are always on edge because the smallest mistake could cost them their lives, or worse, land them in a labor camp. The members of the Supreme Guard Commander always had to be hyper-vigilant, fully aware that the consequences of failure are more severe than you could imagine. Even if you were doing your job, your fate could depend on the mood of the supreme leader, as he was known to send people to labor camps just because he was having a bad day. Unlike other countries where a mistake can lead to dismissal, in North Korea, it could mean you and your entire family, even your children, could spend decades in a labor camp or immediate execution. The protection of the supreme leader is considered a sacred duty, so anything less than total perfection is seen as an unforgivable failure. Lee was always burdened as a member of the bodyguard team, knowing that the slightest oversight could doom him and his family. The inner workings of Kim Jong-un's security are tightly controlled and shrouded in secrecy, but Lee Young-guk revealed that there were some threats he and other bodyguards had to handle when serving Kim Jong-il. There was always a threat of assassination from internal and external forces. With their authoritarian leadership style and dictatorship, there were a lot of enemies against the Kim ruling family, and this always kept the bodyguards on edge. What's more, North Korea has a volatile relationship with countries that pose a constant risk of coups and targeted strikes, especially their immediate neighbor, South Korea. Lee described how bodyguards were often briefed on potential assassination attempts, real and rumored. The Kim family bodyguards are also living under the gaze of constant surveillance, which adds a psychological burden to their already challenging lives. The regime has a lot of paranoia, which means that the bodyguards are constantly watched and surveilled as much as they are watching their leader. Any sign of trying to escape or losing their loyalty can lead to severe consequences. Lee Young-guk explained the psychological pressure that he experienced, knowing that he was constantly being observed for signs of disloyalty. The bodyguards could not trust anyone, even each other, and were encouraged to report on themselves for the slightest infraction. But for Lee, this was something he had been used to for many years since he left high school. Lee was the bodyguard of Kim Jong-il from 1978 to 1988, even before he took control of North Korea, so he was protecting the heir to the country. A few years later, he served as a military advisor for the North Korean government. He remained a loyal regime member and left Kim's employment without any problems. But soon after, he realized that he didn't want to spend any more years in North Korea, which is why he planned his escape in 1994. But as you can expect, he was being monitored like other bodyguards and officials of the North Korean government and was caught. Time in the labor camp. When Lee Young-guk tried to escape from North Korea in 1994, he was the vice director of the military department of the city committee in Musan, North Hamgyong province. He fled to China and wanted to find a way to go to South Korea, but he was caught. China is probably the only country in the world that would send people who escaped from North Korea back, which was bad luck for Lee Young-guk. He was sent back to North Korea, and the country he once served locked him up at the Yoduk political prison camp in South Hamgyong province. This is one of the worst camps in the country, and he would spend 5 years of his life there. Yoduk concentration camp is also known as Camp 15 and is known to hold people without a trial or following unfair trials with confessions obtained from torture. They are usually imprisoned together with family members and close relatives. The camp holds people who the government believes committed crimes against the regime, and for Lee Young-guk, trying to escape as a high-ranking official in the North Korean government was a crime of betraying his country. Although the physical wounds on Lee's body now that he has escaped are clear, when the former North Korean bodyguard broke the silence and revealed what he experienced in the labor camp, it still shocked everyone. In his interviews, he showed dozens of purple crisscross scars on his lower legs. These were beatings that he endured while he was imprisoned in one of the most notorious prison camps. He also removed his dentures and showed that he only has about 5 to 6 original teeth, all of which are wonky and cracked. Those are the only teeth that he has left after the guards at the prison camp beat him repeatedly, punching his head. He was hit with the butt of a rifle too, which left him blind in one eye. All of these injuries are what he suffered while at the brutal Yodok political camp and are shocking. In the interview, he said, "If you are a political prisoner, Yodok's main goal is to kill you." When he first arrived at the prison camp, he saw that the inmates looked like skeletons. He already knew that that would be his future when he stepped into the camp. He also revealed, "It was tough enough that they barely fed me. What was worse was they kept on beating me, and they executed people once a week, which we were forced to watch. You have to be mentally strong, then the cycle repeats itself." From when he was arrested in China to when he was later released from the camp for good behavior, Lee realized that he lost almost half his body weight. The inmates in the camp were so weak because there was barely any food, so they couldn't even lift their heads unless the guard ordered them. Lee revealed that the guards didn't feed them unless they completed their physical work for the day. He said in an interview, "Then you will get hungry and your stomach will get very big and your legs and face will turn to skeleton-like figure. But they won't feed us. Then I will die." He even talked about the flower garden in Yodok, except that this isn't actually a garden. It's a mass grave where all the people who died were buried. Lee said, "Yodok's flower garden has tens of thousands of people in it. Lines and lines of dead bodies. I had to carry them, bodies with fluids still flowing out of them, and bury them where the guards told us." The former North Korean bodyguard broke the silence and shocked everyone, saying, "Please listen before it's too late." He escaped in 2000 and found himself in South Korea with his family. He worked as a duck farmer, wrote a book about his life in the North, and spoke about his experiences. However, one of the things that Lee told the world was the true face of the Kim leaders. What were the Kim leaders like? Working for the Kim ruling family first as a bodyguard and then as a military advisor meant that Lee got access to Kim Jong-il and his son, the present leader, Kim Jong-un. But what he revealed showed the true attitude of these two men, who are known for their brutal nature, ruthless dictatorship, and cruelty to their people, whether it's to the officials working tirelessly for them or to the people who are worshipping them. Lee revealed that he was trained to believe that Kim Jong-il was a god and that the only reason he was born was to protect the dear leader. However, in the years that Lee stood by Kim Jong-il's side, protecting him, he revealed that this was a man surrounded by fear. According to Lee, Kim Jong-il had two faces and everything depended on his mood. If he was happy, he could give out gold to the different people around him. But if he was upset about something, he could easily sentence someone to death for no reason. In an interview, Lee said, "When Kim Jong-il would arrive in his vehicle, 60 to 70-year-old advisors would run away and throw themselves onto the grass. They had dust on their clothes, but they wanted to hide from him." He revealed that these advisors were always scared of crossing his path because they never knew his mood. Even if he was happy, he could still be rude to them or chop off their heads for no reason at all. One terrifying story that Lee told was about a senior official who used Kim Jong-il's private elevator and ashtray once. This might seem like nothing much, but when Kim Jong-il found out, he sent him to a concentration camp. There, the man died. Kim Jong-il might seem terrifying, but his son was even worse. Lee always knew that the North Korean leader that he was serving was cruel, but it was only after he escaped to South Korea that he saw the truth. He realized Kim was a true dictator, as his father was before him and his son is now. Lee said in an interview, Kim Jong-un ended up killing his uncle, who even Kim Jong-il could not kill. He added, as power was handed down to the third generation, it became crueler. Kim Jong-un has created loyalty, but it is fake and based on fear. Lee revealed that in Kim Jong-il's entourage, what he mostly enjoyed was food and women, something that his son is also following in his footsteps. Lee Young-guk also saw Kim Jong-un as a child and revealed that he had an isolated childhood which left him stressed and quick-tempered. In an interview, he revealed he was stressed and had no one to play with his own age. There were only adults who were educated and played with him. Kim Jong-un became the leader of North Korea at 27, becoming the youngest ruler of a country at that time. Lee said, his personality was explosive. When he was angry, he acted without considering the consequences. Kim Jong-un was not the original person being groomed as a successor, but his half-brother, Kim Jong-nam. In 2017, 5 years after Kim Jong-un went into power, his half-brother was assassinated, and everyone pointed fingers at Kim Jong-un. In the interview, Lee said he was quick-tempered. He doesn't care about what others think. He doesn't feel sorry for other people. He does whatever he wants. He would yell at the ladies. He was like that. Lee revealed that he saw Kim Jong-un many times as a young boy, at 6 or 7. He was quick-tempered and would run around in the grass and flower garden, falling over and smashing things. Now that he has escaped, Lee has revealed much about the Kim ruling family, testifying before the UN Human Rights Council. He said, "Kim Jong-un has 14 luxury vacation homes across the country, and he enjoys swimming and hunting at those sites, depending on the season. He only has pursued his personal interests, although he's responsible for looking after his people. In the meantime, he built political prison camps nationwide, where his people have been starved and beaten to death." Lee also said that the secretive state is covering the eyes and ears of its people, filling their brains, even the high-ranking officials, with propaganda. He said they are totally unaware of Kim's extravagant life and reality behind the political prison camps. What the former North Korean bodyguard disclosed was shocking, even to those who were aware of how the regime works. What do you think drives individuals to remain loyal to such an oppressive system, despite the risks to their own lives? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. For more exciting videos like this, take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.